Hey guys, it's Rob the Jersey Spyder, and welcome back to my channel. It is another interesting day here in New Jersey, as you can probably see ahead. We are having a major forest fire so far. I would guess in the area of 14,000 acres have burned so far, and it's about 50% contained. But it's bad. We lost one business in our business park in Lacey Township in Forked River, and a whole lot of woods. Fortunately, as far as I know, there have not been any injuries, but it's quite devastating. And they just announced on the news they arrested a 19-year-old for having a bonfire out in the woods with a bunch of pallets, and he failed to extinguish it, so he's been arrested and charged. He's going to have, if convicted, he's going to have some big problems, especially financially, for what it costs for fighting these fires, and of course the loss of that one business. So we shall see with that. Obviously, air conditions are not wonderful today. Now, when this was going on, this all started, I would think it was somewhere around Monday, late evening into Tuesday. And like I said, the kids, probably Monday night, the kids were out there having a bonfire out in the woods, failed to extinguish it, and I don't know exactly when it was reported, but I do know I wound up losing power Tuesday, and it was purposely shut off by JCP&L, so it wouldn't create other fires if power lines were damaged or what have you from the fire. So they shut power off to about 23,000 residences between Lacey Township and Waretown, New Jersey. Hopefully you have a decent view of the smoke there. And I was out of power for about 18 hours. Fortunately, I have a 8,000 watt generator, and I was able to power up all my refrigerators. I was actually watching TV that night. I was able to tap into the Wi-Fi, get that working, so we stream all our services. We don't use regular cable anymore. We were watching TV. My neighbor was texting me saying they were all worried about losing their food, so my generator's strong enough. I had my neighbors tap into my generator and saved all their food in their refrigerator. So the power was out from, I'm going to guess it was around 7 o'clock. I'm going to pass this guy. Around 7 o'clock on Tuesday evening, in that ballpark. And didn't come on till about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, probably pushing 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday. So it was out for quite a while, so I'm very thankful for my generator. So today's ride, we're going to take a quick ride through Shrewsbury, New Jersey, and then we're going to go through Rumson, hit Rumson Road. That should be interesting, and we're going to take a little trip up to Sandy Hook, New Jersey, where I've never been before. So this should be a fun trip, guys. I appreciate you joining me on this ride. And if you like this video at the end, could you give it a big thumbs up? And if you could subscribe, I appreciate it. But I'm not going to bore you all with this ride on the Garden State Parkway. We'll shut down till we get up there and continue the video. All right, guys, we'll see you in a little bit. Hey, guys, this little part of the video, it's going to be short for this. We're in Shrewsbury right now, and my daughter lives in this general area. And Shrewsbury is adjacent to Red Bank, New Jersey. And Red Bank has a beautiful little downtown area. All kinds of bars and so forth, and nice restaurants in that area. And the other thing they have, if you've ever heard of it, is a Count Basie Theater. It's a small venue theater. So I've seen some pretty good venues there, pretty good shows. I've seen Kenny Wayne Shepherd, I've seen Buddy Guy there, I've seen Train. They have awesome shows there, and I love that it's a small venue. It's so up and close and personal. It really is incredible. So this is a pretty well-off town, Shrewsbury, as is Red Bank, but not as well off as Rumson. And shortly, you're going to see why. Okay, so we are on Rumson Road in Rumson, New Jersey. This is a very, very affluent area. few famous names that live in Rumson, or have lived in Rumson. Bruce Springsteen, Patti Scialfa, Bruce's wife, obviously, they hooked together. John Bon Jovi. And there's a lot of others that I'm not familiar with the people, but apparently they're somewhat well known. And it's a very, like I said, very affluent area. Well above my pay grade. And, okay, we're still in Little Silver, which is another pretty affluent area. But as we get up farther, you're going to see that the sizes of the homes greatly increase. Oh, look at that. Another Seven Bridges Road. Did not know that. Didn't know there was more than one in New Jersey. I will try to go a little bit slow here if I can. Okay, we're now entering the town of Rumson. Which way to look here. It's hard to see, folks. I don't want to kill myself riding here, but golf course. Perfect day for that. Today is a beautiful day in New Jersey, and you know, I'm noticing, I'm looking in the sky, and there is smoke in the sky all the way from Waretown Fork River area hitting this area. It's a beautiful home there. Look at the size of these things. And it's gorgeous today. It's, I would say, about 75 degrees, low humidity, very light winds, and very sunny with the exception of the smoke in the air. Nice house on the hill. My favorite times of the year to ride, spring and fall. And as you can tell, spring has sprung. The leaves are probably, I don't know, a couple days away from finally popping out. It was a pretty cold spring early on, and it finally, the weather seems as though it's finally changed for the better. Hopefully you can see these places. So today's video has two new items involved. I'm using for the first time my new Purple Panda microphone, so we will see how that works out. And I picked up those filters, which I showed you in my last video, and I'm using one of the filters because it's so sunny today. See how it works with blocking all that glare. I was going to do a video. I had time, and I was going to do a video going to Sandy Hook on Sunday, and I decided against it because it was a nice day, and I believed the place was probably mobbed, and I wouldn't have a lot of opportunity to video. I'd be pushed around and feel pressured from traffic behind me as I drove through, so I put it off till today. I actually left work a little early. It's about 5 minutes of 2 on Thursday, April 24th, and we'll see how Sandy Hook is today. So Rumson Road, you just take it all the way to the end. You come to a traffic light, you make a left turn, my understanding is, and it brings you right into Sandy Hook. I'll tell you more about that when we get there, which we're just about there. Ooh, a big bump out of here. I'm going to slow down a little bit. Up ahead, you can see the Atlantic Ocean in the distance. Looks nice and calm. A lot of new construction going on here. Hopefully the audio quality is good, because I do have my visor cracked so as to not fog it up. I still did not get one of those pin locks yet. Beautiful view there. It's very hazy today. What a shame. And it's due to that fire. If it weren't for that, it would be a crystal clear day today. Look at this restaurant. Bet the views from there are awesome. The Rum Runner. All right, I will have to check that out one day. So guys, I took my Spyder back a couple weeks ago in for its spring service, oil change and what have you. They check everything out. Now, I can tell you, I can get an oil change, and my GMC truck takes synthetic oil, and I can get an oil change. They'll top off the fluids if they have to, check everything, top off the air in the tires, rotate the tires, and it costs me around $85 in that ballpark to have my truck done. And my truck takes 8 quarts of oil. I don't know why service on the Spyders it's so expensive. So I believe the bill was $411. And I just don't get it. I know the kit is I don't know what it is, $135, $150 for the oil change kit. So even if you tacked an hour labor onto that, say $110, say it's $150 and $110, so you're talking $260. I don't know why. And you try to look at the bill and figure it out why it's that kind of money. It just does not make any sense to me, but you read all the forums and everything else, and it just is what it is. It's what they charge. It's insane. I guess they just don't have the volume of service vehicles that, GMC, Ford, and all them have. I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, so here we go. Sandy Hook, next right. Park fees, Memorial Day. So it should be free to get in there. Definitely don't want to go to Keyport. Although I read, if you've ever heard of Keyport, New Jersey, that back in the day was I never knew this, was a major whaling port. Big whaling port back in the day. Pretty interesting. Beautiful beach. A little surf, but not bad today at all. Not bad. Sign for Sandy Hook. And what's at Sandy Hook we're going to see? Fort Hancock. Got the green light here. So Sandy Hook is approximately 6 miles long, and I believe it's part of Middletown, Monmouth County, part of Middletown Township in Monmouth County. So you got Fort Hancock here, and then I don't know what town it is. It might be in Middletown. Is the big park for the Battle of Monmouth that occurred during the Civil War. And I was there years ago as a kid, but I have not been there in a very long time. So we're going to do a little bit of exploring here before we get to the fort. And also in the fort area is the Sandy Hook Lighthouse. If you guys could see it, there's a big ship out there, but it's so hazy today. See what this is. Parking area, beach center. So it's interesting for those of you that have never experienced it, but when you're riding and you come over a bridge and you're approaching the ocean, the temperature drops about 10 degrees. So the Spyder was reading before 82 or 83, and now it's down to it's dropping down to 68. It's going down quick. So if it's showing in the high 60s, it's no doubt in the 50s, but it feels great today. Where that cool structure is. I just have it right now. I just have a t-shirt on, and I have my like mesh riding jacket, and I feel good. Let's see what this is. Maybe just take a ride down here just to explore. See what this says. Parking area, beach center. Let's just take a look. Being I've never been here before. Nope. Stand down. Closed. We're not going to go down there. So I did a little bit of research and slow down here. Is everybody behind me? There's somebody way behind me. Not a crazy amount of research, but if you see that is a Nike Ajax missile. So my Spyder is, I got it January of 23, like you guys told you in my very first video, which I did not upload in 4K, and it's awful when I look at it. So I've had it, a couple years now, a little over a couple years. And I don't have a crazy amount of miles. I'm a pro. I have like 6,500 miles on it. Obviously, I do shorter rides. But like I said, I brought it in for service, but everything's tip-top on it. I mean, no issues. Everything's good with it. In fact, today it happened again, and I did mention it to the dealer, that damn VSS fault. And I've had it twice since I've had it from the dealer. I've had it happen twice, that VSS fault, and it happened again today. I guess it's got to have something to do with the battery. It just keeps happening. They ran diagnostics on it at the dealership and found nothing wrong, so I don't know what's going on with the thing. But it pops up when you start it, so that's why it's got to be battery related. I'm thinking it's a power issue. And it shuts off after about between 5 and 10 seconds. It just shuts off. So I don't know if anybody else is having that same problem or has had that same problem, but it's a little gremlin I have with this. So what is this now? I just wash this thing. I don't want to create a dust bowl. Part of an old bunker here. Okay. 1937. All right. Maybe I'll just stop and I'll take a walk up that hill. We'll see what we got here. Get the tires dirty. All right. I'm gonna let it run. I'm just gonna put it in park and take a walk up there. the view of the ocean. So folks, this is New Jersey. This is what our beaches are like here. Absolutely gorgeous. You can see if there's an osprey up there flying. All right, let's go back and keep riding. Boy, she is pretty, especially when she's so clean. Do not feed the wildlife. Tickets will be issued. It's another osprey. Nope, that's a hawk. That's not an osprey. That's a hawk. Red-tailed hawk. Let's see what this is. Fort Hancock would be to the left. Let's see what Gunnison Beach is about first before we go to Fort Hancock. Take a ride down here. Gunnison Beach, they call it. I did read there's some really nice bike trails through here. So, and when I say bike, I do not mean motorcycle, I mean bicycle. And it's pretty neat. Apparently along the way, they have air pumps stations with a station with a bunch of tools. So if you get a flat tire or what have you, you can try to fix it there. If you have some kind of issue with your bike, they have like a lanyard with all kinds of tools on it. Pretty cool. This is a very, very smart idea. Do not know what this old structure is. I guess that's bathhouses or something. I'm not sure what that is. Oh wait, what is that? All right. I'm going to go backwards here. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but that is, it says erected in 1904. It is a battery, and I see a large gun up there. And obviously this was used as defense of New York Harbor. And I'm sure they had large, because I know there's another battery in the park that housed 12-inch guns. I'm assuming this one probably did the same thing. I don't know what the name of this battery is, though. The other one I believe is called Potter Battery. Pretty interesting. So here's another section. Can we ride by here? Let's see. It looks like I can go by here. Shame I can't be on the paved portion instead of this. Caution, hazardous area. No unauthorized personnel. It's part of an old railroad track I just ran over. So this was erected in 1902, and I'm guessing it's another set of batteries or whatever to protect our coastlines. Wish it gave you a little more information. I see Fort Hancock over there, and I wonder what that old house is. They have it all fenced off, so I don't know if they are fixing it or they're getting ready to tear it down. I would imagine they're probably doing repairs to it because of the history of this place. Let's see where this goes. I really want to get to the entrance to the park for the sign and all, so you can see that. Yeah, we're in the park, so let's, I'm going to turn around here. All right, let's head towards Fort Hancock. As I suspected, it doesn't seem as though the park is that busy today, so this is great. Hopefully we take our time a little bit and see the sights. Folks, here we are. Fort Hancock Historic Post. Gateway National Recreation Area. And as we can see, another Nike missile. Hopefully not a live munition. This fort was built just after the Civil War and was in full operation to protect the harbor of New York, because you come around Sandy Hook and it starts going into New York Harbor, and it was built to protect that. This place is still loaded with buildings. That's a Fisheries Science Center right here. Don't really know unless they say what they are, what these buildings were. New Jersey Sea Grant Consortium. Obviously that building is having some big issues. I would imagine that they'll probably wind up tearing down, unfortunately. So up ahead, you can see the Sandy Hook Lighthouse. Now that was the oldest, I don't know if it's still operating, but they say it's the oldest operating lighthouse in the United States. Very nice. I believe it's 89 feet tall, and if I recall, was built, believe it or not, it was built in 1764. Now, I don't know if you can get a gist of it or not, but the lighthouse really isn't near the shore anymore. Just from the ocean currents or what have you, bringing rocks in and sand in and all that, it's filled in over the years, and it's kind of sitting in the middle of the Sandy Hook Peninsula right now. It's nowhere really close to the water anymore. Assuming that's another battery. I don't see a sign on it. No authorized entrance, hazardous area because it's falling apart. Now, whether they'll restore these places in the future, I don't know. I hope they do. So yeah, this place was an active base until 1919. From the end of the Civil War till 1919, and after that, it took a little bit of a hiatus. So this is Battery Potter. I think I called it Potter Battery before. It was Battery Potter. So this had new technology. I had two 12-inch guns up there, and I think it was through steam. They would raise the guns and lower the guns. They would lower the guns into the battery. They would reload them and steam them back up with a per se like an elevator system, fire, and then lower them back down again. Now the problem with that was it took so long to do that. Now that says it was erected in 1890. But it took so long to do that, it really wasn't an efficient way to do it, but they were doing it to protect the guns from ships firing towards Sandy Hook. So that's Battery Potter. One can only guess that this was all housing for soldiers at one point. That's where we just were before. All right. Here's this dilapidated house. Shame, it's a very, what would have been a very beautiful structure back in the day. Well, I hope they restore that. And here's the Sandy Hook as we approach the Sandy Hook Coast Guard Station, still fully operational. And I don't know what all these buildings were. It's interesting to see them. Now, you're going to see all these identical looking houses up here. As we get closer to the water, it'll kind of curve in and get closer to the water, and you have all these identical houses. A lot of them are dilapidated, they are deteriorating, and they are fixing them up. I don't know what they're going to do with them. I mean, if anything, maybe make them Airbnbs or something, but you'll see some are in very bad shape. Let this guy go. You'll see the front porches on some of them are falling down. They have them supported, and other ones they are fixing up. Hopefully they repair all of them. This one's looking nice. Somebody's on the front porch. History house. Lieutenant's quarters. Yeah, these were all officers' quarters back in the day. So 1956 to 1974. This was an active, because of the Cold War, this was an active military base again. See, that porch is just totally dilapidated, coming down. This was an active military base again from that time. That's when it housed the Nike Ajax missiles and the Nike much fatter, bigger, I haven't seen one yet, Hercules missiles that replaced the Ajax eventually. A lot of our Ajax wound up going to South Korea. And they used them up until not too long ago, from what my understanding is, for their defense. Yeah, like that one, they fixed the porch all up, looks beautiful. It's nice to see they're doing that. This place, I can only imagine during the nice spring weekends and during the summer, that this place is absolutely packed. Bike trails, jogging trails, picnic areas. Okay guys, so this is our little trip through Sandy Hook, New Jersey and Rumson. Again, I wish it was not such a hazy day due to the fire, but it is what it is. It would have been absolutely perfect today. But again, I thank you for riding along with me. I really appreciate it. And if you guys like this video, if you could give it a big thumbs up, and if you could give me a subscription, it helps my little channel grow. You guys are the best. And I want you all to be happy, healthy, and be safe out there riding. If you're thinking about getting one of these, get it. You're going to enjoy it. Take care, my friends. We'll see you at the next video. Bye-bye.